You could have the most brilliant idea in the world, but if your body is sending all the wrong signals, your message is basically dead on arrival. It's funny, we obsess over every single word and all our data, but the most powerful communication tool we have, it's our own body. So today, we're going to break down how to turn that tool into a genuine superpower. So, can your body betray your words? Well, it's more than just a question, right? It's a fundamental truth of how we communicate. You can have the most perfect script, but if your body is telling a story of nervousness or uncertainty, guess what? That's the only story your audience is going to believe. Here's the thing. When your words and body are in conflict, your body wins every single time. It can be your greatest ally or, your most devastating trait. And this contrast is everything. You've got the message that's just lost in the noise versus one that's amplified and crystal clear. For a perfect, almost painful example of what happens when it all goes wrong, you just have to think of that infamous Michael Bay moment from a tech conference. The director's teleprompter failed, and his nerves completely took over. His message was just gone, lost in the physical chaos of his anxiety. That is the exact opposite of our goal today, which is to turn our physical presence into an undeniable superpower. So let's really dig into what happens when those nerves just completely take over. In that moment, we saw the whole checklist of what not to do. Hands clasped in a death grip, literally turning away from the audience, that anxious swaying back and forth, and absolutely zero eye contact. His body language didn't just distract from his message, it totally hijacked it. That's the Michael Bay moment we all want to avoid. Okay, so here's the bottom line. You have a choice here. You can totally let your body's nervous habits just undermine everything you're trying to say. Or you can learn to harness that physical energy. You can use your stance, your gestures, and your presence to not just deliver a message, but to make it resonate, to make it stick, to make it powerful. All right, so where do we even start building this superpower? Well, we start from the ground up. Seriously, your stance is the foundation of your confidence. It's the very first signal you send before you even say a single word. Let's make sure we get it right. First things first, where you're standing actually matters a lot. You want to command a central position where you can connect with everyone in the room. Rule number 1, always face the people you're talking to, not your slides. And please be aware of your surroundings. Don't stand in front of a window with traffic whizzing by behind you. You want their focus on you, not on that cool sports car that just drove by. Okay, let's get into some of the classic blunders we all make with how we stand. First up, the old hands in the pockets move. It might feel casual and cool, but it often just reads as nonchalant or even disinterested. Plus, physically, it makes your shoulders roll forward, which just creates a weaker, less confident posture. Next up, the classic hands on hips pose. You know the one. While it might make you feel powerful, to an audience it can come across as kind of aggressive or overbearing. It creates this physical barrier that screams, "I'm in charge here," instead of, "Hey, let's connect." And oh, the fig leaf. We've all seen it, right? Clasping your hands in front of you for dear life. This position just looks defensive and timid. And what's worse, it's a terrible starting point for gestures. Any movement you make from there just looks restricted and, honestly, super awkward. So if all those are bad, what's good? Let's find our base posture. Seriously, you can do this with me right now. Stand with your feet about hip-width apart. Now close your eyes, look up toward the ceiling, and take a big stretch, reaching your hands way up high. Got it? Now, just let your arms drop naturally to your sides. Open your eyes. That feeling, that's your home base. It might feel a little exposed at first, but trust me, to your audience, it reads as open, confident, and comfortable. All right, stance, check. Now let's talk about what to do with your hands. Your hands are one of the most expressive tools you have. The whole goal is to use them with purpose, to amplify what you're saying, not to just fidget around and distract from it. And look, this isn't just about fluff or looking confident. This is about being effective. The data on this is absolutely staggering. Studies have shown that when a speaker uses meaningful hand gestures, the audience actually retains twice as much information. I mean, just let that sink in for a second. Double the retention just by using your hands the right way. This is a total game changer for making your message stick. So to keep things simple, let's break down most of these killer gestures into 3 main types. Once you get these down, you can start using them intentionally. They are the give, the show, and the chop. First up is the give. This is your bread and butter for presenting facts, ideas, or options. Think of it like you're literally offering the information to your audience on a platter. The key is open palms facing up. It's a gesture that says, "I'm sharing this with you," and it feels really open and honest. Next, we've got the show. And this is where the fun really begins. You're literally illustrating your point with your hands. Talking about a huge opportunity, show how big it is. A tiny little detail, show that too. The one golden rule here, the gesture has to match the words. It has to. Saying our growth is skyrocketing while your hand is slumping toward the floor just doesn't work. They have to be in sync. And last but not least, the chop. Oh yeah, this is your power move. You use this when you're making a definitive point, delivering a really strong opinion, or emphasizing that one thing they absolutely need to remember. A single hand chop is strong. A double hand chop? Even stronger. Use it when you need to drive a point home. Now, if you're still skeptical about how much a tiny little hand movement can matter, just look at this. A study measured how willing an audience was to comply with a request based on a hand gesture. A palms-up request got 84% compliance. That's incredible. But look what happens when you turn your palms down. It drops all the way to 52%. And that accusatory pointing finger? A dismal 28%. The takeaway here couldn't be clearer. An open palm invites people in, a pointing finger pushes them away. Okay, we've talked about your stance, we've talked about your gestures, but this last piece, this might be the most important part of the whole puzzle, and it has almost nothing to do with you. It's about shifting your entire focus away from your own performance and onto the audience's experience. They're the reason you're there after all. There's this amazing metaphor from communications expert Nancy Duarte that just nails it. You, the speaker, are not the hero of this story. The audience is. You are simply their guide. You're the Yoda to their Luke Skywalker. And when you really adopt that mindset, all the pressure to perform just melts away. It's not about you anymore. It's about serving and connecting with them. Everything changes. So how do you actually guide your audience? Simple. You pay attention to them. And I mean, really look beyond just making eye contact here and there. Read their body language. Are they leaning in? Maybe taking notes, totally engaged? Or are they fidgeting, looking at their phones, glancing at the clock? Their bodies are going to tell you everything you need to know about whether or not you've lost them. And hey, if you look out and see them drifting, it's on you to reel them back in. Don't just keep talking to a brick wall. You can re-engage them. Surprise them with a question to the whole group. Use a little bit of well-placed humor to change the energy in the room. Or, if you really need to, you can disrupt the flow by asking a direct, simple question to one person. Yeah, the dreaded cold call. It is a surefire way to get everyone's attention right back on track. And that's it. That's the whole shebang. Your superpower isn't some single magical trick. It's a combination of three things: a strong, confident stance, purposeful gestures that amplify your message, and a relentless focus on the audience, making them the hero of the story. Look, at the end of the day, this stuff isn't just for a big stage presentation. It's for your next team meeting, your next job interview, your next difficult conversation. The skills are actually pretty simple, but the impact they can have is profound. The formula's right there for you. So the only question left is, how are you going to use your superpower?